So this video is fun because this is the very first skate and I got this set like hours before I got on the ice here. And this is the Optik 3 demo set I got to use and that we'll be doing a full review on. I already did the puck machine test, which you can kind of see over there. So this is that first set. And I had no warm up in here, so you can see me stretching and stuff on here, but there is a lot of footage of me just kind of figuring out the pad, or just me showing me stretching and how the pad sits on my leg and stuff like that, because I feel like this is a good idea to show kind of how the pad fits and how it plays on your leg and skate and everything. The thing I want people to watch, or if you're interested in Optik 3 pads, you should probably watch, is you can see basically here like how much your leg just sits on the ice here, where previously I found with Optik pads, because of the sizing change and the boot change, my leg was more supported basically here. But with this, because these are 34-1 and with the max core, which I generally don't like the shape of, that's why I went with a 34 instead of a 35. And with the new boot design and the fit profile of it, you kind of lose some things here, and like the kind of padding under your leg here really kind of shows off, because the skate is basically straight down on the ice and there's nothing there. There's still padding here and it still has that pillow for the calf, but the skate itself is not really supported by stuff here anymore. So I want to kind of show that here as well. This is obviously, like I mentioned, a 34-1 and it's a max core. So the reason I went with a 34-1 instead of a 35-1 on this, because when I had my 36 Optik 2s in a max core, I found the thighs too tall because of the shape on the knee. So instead of having like a gradual shape, this is a little bit curved. The Optiks kind of go like straight like this. And I noticed that I don't like that shape that much with that pad sizing. So if I drop down to a 35-1 on Optik 3s, it would be the equivalent of a 36-1 on Optik 2s because of that new boot profile. So I talked about that in my genetic review when I went from the 4 to the 5s, how I had to go down a size and they're basically the exact same size, all because of like that new boot shape. This is kind of the idea here as well. I went down one size from what I normally would, but then I went down another size to kind of counteract that thigh rise. If I ordered this set custom, it would be a 35+1. Stiff as possible, but straight as possible. So I would order the fly like shape instead of the flex, because the fly is a lot straighter than what the flex is, which is a very, like you'll see in the review, it's a very like Z shape basically. You can see the coverage on this though in this footage. It's a 34-1 and it still covers kind of like a 35-1 on most normal pads, just because of how aggressive that is. And I always found that those thighs kind of got in the way of each other on the 36-1. And I always found the thighs kind of got in the way with each other on my old pad, so I kind of wanted to make sure they didn't, and then I could deal with a little bit of a gap. If I went with this size, I'd probably do a 34+1.5 if I kept that max core, but I generally don't really like that shape. I like the straighter shape, so I would not do that. But if I went with that max core, I would probably do like a 1.5 instead of a 34+1. You also can't really tell in this video because of the net cam, but this was where I had no warm up, so I was really bad with glove and I missed everything with the glove. I actually had problems with this glove though in general, because I've just found it harder to use than my old Optiks. And it's still a fine glove. It's just me using 590s all the time right now, which I'm like doing for reviews, and then jumping back to this one, which is more of a 600, just really screws with my hand placement and just overall catching ability with it. I also made some really bad plays with the blocker too, which I think is a huge like change issue, because blocker boards are all different thicknesses. So some are like that, some are like that, and your hand position is different. When I go to make like a save, because of the blocker boards, which are thicker or just different, I end up just missing the board, because I think my board will be centered, but really it gets the side, just because they're different like angles and everything. So you kind of have to adjust to that too. So I missed a couple on here, but I really like the shape of this one and everything, but we'll do obviously the full review on that coming in the near future as well. But I thought this was an interesting view, because you can see the Optik 3 in use. You can see how they sit on my skate. You can see how it interacts with the ice, and you can see like kind of the sizing ideas on this, because this pad, for all intents and purposes, kind of fits my leg decently well. I did have to strap down to the thigh, which I don't like doing, just to pull it up a little bit off my skate. So I got a little bit more in the center of these, but it wasn't that bad. So just keep that in mind if you're going to order them yourself. Core Tech, which are core shorts, and people have heard of these before. They were labeled under Under Armour before. Now Bauer sells hockey specific one, but Core themselves sell their own line of pants and supportive clothing and apparel. Basically, this stuff helps you with growing strains, growing pulls, and helps keep your hips tight and everything like that. And speaking of injuries, I kind of pulled a growing playing in the playoffs a few months ago and have had to keep using these Core-Tech shorts to make sure my groin doesn't get worse. When I don't wear them, I can feel it and it hurts kind of to walk the next day. With these, keeps everything nice and tight and keeps everything from stretching out too far and getting injured. So these have been a huge savior for me. Check out the link in the description to their website and use my coupon code that's in there to get a discount, and I'll put it on the screen here. It helps support myself and the channel so I can make content and doing real reviews, but also you get a solid product that I use all the time and basically am needed in order to keep my growing from falling apart. Otherwise, if you want to support the channel without buying anything, check out the links in the description to Patreon and buy me a coffee. Everything through those links always comes back into the channel so I can keep making more content and doing more reviews.
Y'all ready for this?
You're watching HockeyReviews.ca.